from Being in Sync 366 video series. This video series is intended to provide actionable ways in which you can align within that align you with being congruent with yourself, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And I do this through the practice of energy psychology, and my intention is to provide actionable content for you all so you understand the various ways in which we can go out of alignment and also how to get back in alignment. So currently I am looking at a list of topics, and the silent treatment is something that many, many people have contended with. Now, I am not one who does well with passive aggressive behavior, and this is not passive aggressive. This is just straight out hostile, aggressive behavior. So what I thought when I was thinking about this topic and the way in which to address it, I think the best way and the simplest way to address it is what to do when you're on the receiving end. Hi, Peter. What to do when you're on the receiving end of, oh, actually, while you're here, you just reminded me. Yeah, my 3 dots, by the way, Peter, they don't allow me to do anything. Oh, top messages, chat filter. Okay, sorry. I updated all messages, allow most messages, potential spam removed, show every message, including potential. Okay, so let's see if this helps with the chat today. Okay, so we're talking about the silent treatment, and I thought we would talk about specifically not why people do their dysfunctional behaviors, because, you know, anybody who's on the receiving end of, hey, Eric, good to see you. Blessings to you as well. Anybody who's on the receiving end of a silent treatment knows it will suck the life out of you. They will garner your attention. You will wonder what you did wrong, if there's something else that has happened for you to cause this aggressive, hostile behavior that appears to be not a big deal, because they will always diminish your perceptions should you bring it to their attention. So my recommendation for how to react and respond to the silent treatment is accept it. Is accept that how they are behaving is how they behave. You didn't have to cause it. You didn't do anything. They have their own free will to choose their own behaviors, as you have a choice. Now, this is the thing that most people don't talk about when they talk about the silent treatment, is what happens when that hostile behavior is taken. It runs a wave of energy. So we all know if you're getting the silent treatment, you know, because you feel it, right? So that is telling you already that there's a frequency there. Within that frequency, there's also these things called entities or attachments or vampires. You can call them all different kinds of things. In fact, they are multiple different kinds of things. But these people are energetic vampires. And what happens is they, by doing that behavior, it's a manipulation to get more of your energy. And I know you might think, well, these people don't know energy. They do. They know manipulation and they know power. So somebody who is doing the silent treatment to you is only doing it for one reason: power and control. That's why they do what they do. So you need to determine, when that is being done to you, do you want to, what are you going to do with it? And my suggestion is just accept that's how they are. That's who they are. That's how they are. And is that the behavior that you want to engage with? And go from there. Because if you bring it up for conversation, it's not going to go very well, especially if you're in the midst of that situation. You have to do it when it's not enacted, meaning when that situation has died and you kind of separated from it and you have a regular normal conversation when it's not heated. Say, oh yeah, you know, I was remembering a couple of times ago that I felt like you gave me the silent treatment. I just wanted to let you know that that isn't going to work for me anymore. If you have a problem with me, it's going to warrant a discussion. Otherwise, we're not going to have much of a relationship. You pretty much have to have a conversation like that because it's a tool that's used to manipulate. They will never agree that they're giving you the silent treatment. They will just say, you're making this up, or I didn't do that, or you're making a big deal out of nothing. I just took a week or 2 weeks to take time for myself. You know, they'll make up some kind of ridiculousness. You know the relationship, you know the norms, so you have to use your discretion as to how you want to move forward. My recommendation with the silent treatment is to see the people as they are. That is not a functional communicator. They function in dysfunction. They function in power dynamics. So when you see people for who they are, now you have choices as to how you want to engage or operate with them. Keeping in mind, ego to ego battles is a lose-lose situation. So, when you go ego to ego or when you get into a power control with them, you really want to know what are you getting out of this relationship. And I think when people are in relationships with people who have this type of behavior, they really lose track of what the value of the relationship is. You know, is it because they're your mother or your father or your best friend and you've gone into agreement with them to act in poor, dysfunctional ways? Then when you go out of agreement with that, that's going to change the dynamic of the relationship. It might change how you are valued. It might change how they can use you. And you might miss being used because let's be honest, there are people in our world who, and you might be one of them, and if you are, I would encourage you to find another way to serve yourself. But you do not need to suffer in order to be in relationship with others who say they love you. People say things all the time that they don't mean. Love is not a word, it actually is a frequency too. And it carries a harmonic and it feels good when you have it. And if you're with people who are lovingly pretty much betraying you, then that's not love. And so you might have to look at some of your friendships and your parent relationships and realize, like, what have I been told about love and what is love really, you know? And there might be some incongruent there. So let me see. Like I said, I'm trying to train myself without my glasses. Let's see. I updated my thing, and now when I go to take somebody off this, I'm getting a bunch more options. Okay, so they changed YouTube out when I changed updated. Okay, any questions about the silent treatment? Fortnite News says, I don't know if I want to keep living. Well, life is here to live, and suicide is never the answer. I absolutely can guarantee you that will not take you to a place that you think you're going to go. And it does not stop the pain and suffering. So the best way is to focus on what you are trying to avoid. What is it that's causing you the most pain, and address the pain point. And stop watching TV and news. Hey, Nepal, Nazir, you're back. People tend to always think I'm just giving the silent treatment. Oh, Nazir, aren't you the one that didn't think you should be in a relationship because it just doesn't work? And you have people tell you that you're giving them the silent treatment. That is data, my friend. I'm introverted. Nobody has ever told me I'm giving them the silent treatment. So if you have more than one person telling you you're giving them the silent treatment, this is telling you how you're being perceived. It doesn't make them right, but it is giving you data about yourself. Introverts do not give the silent treatment. They engage still, even if they're uncomfortable. So Nazir, I really am thinking, I don't know you, I just know you from these chats, but I really am thinking you need to start to go out of your comfort zone. What it seems is happening is you're creating these walls and these barriers that makes it very difficult for you to engage with people in a meaningful way. And I'm saying that with total open heart and honesty, because you seem like a very kind person who wants to have meaningful relationships. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. And your reasoning needs to be questioned as to why you're doing things. I really think you need to find new, you might want to look at finding a new way to express yourself that allows you to express and be less suppressed. And I think that will help you open up your heart and really make some nice connections. Okay. Hello, India. Hello. There are some crazy comments in the chat. I agree, Rupert. Hi, Vishal. Yes, every day is a different topic. Today we're talking about the silent treatment. Any questions about getting the silent treatment or what to do? And how to redirect your attention. Okay, so it seems like, a lot of people have experience with the silent treatment, but they get stuck with people who are doing this. So I think I'm going to try a different angle here if you're willing. So in order to have somebody doing the silent treatment to you or in your field, you have to resonate with abuse. So that's the harsh truth. So you want to go out of resonance with that abuse. Well, we're always getting feedback, Peter. Peter's saying we require two-way feedback. Silence is feedback. There is absolutely a frequency and data in observation, in compassion, in silence. They feel different. Yes, you were exactly right, Peter, is saying that people who do the silent treatment hijacked a normal mode. They hijack healthy is what they do. They hijack healthy behavior, and they take people who are, want to engage and have a discussion, and they take that away from you because they know it makes you unstable. Why does it make you unstable? Because, normal people, and I say normal, and I mean healthy people want to have an understanding. Usually they try to process why people are behaving the way they are, and they make it about them, and especially if you're somebody who resonates with abuse. I don't have people that give me the silent treatment. I have experienced silence. I could feel the difference in frequency of silence, but I don't have people in my life that give me the silent treatment. I have clients who have experienced the silent treatment. I've had friends that have done the silent treatment, but that is not a behavior that works for somebody like me. However, as you can tell, I'm very direct and forthright in my communication. I don't, and that doesn't always work well for people who don't like to confront things. However, silence comes in different ways. I've been in situations where people will speak any language but not speak English. And I happen to read nonverbal communication. So that's a hostile attack. And this happened during a holiday where I was with a bunch of people and they were speaking another language and they knew I did not speak that language. What they didn't know is that I understand nonverbal communication. So I could read the energy of the room. I could read what they were doing to me or trying to do to me, and it didn't work. However, it doesn't matter. Their attempt was to assert power and control. When you don't go into agreement with their power dynamic, they don't know what to do. They might attack you, but if you accept them for who they are, which is exactly who they show you as, it doesn't matter what they have to say about you. Why would you even value what they say? No. They're going to talk about whatever they want to talk about because we already know they're not stable, right? They are not healthy and they will just gossip, which is what people that do silent treatments do. They also talk about others. Because who else is going to listen to them when they can't talk to you? They're going to take it somewhere else. Anyways, let's see. Any questions? If no questions, this might be a really short video today. Yesterday's was long, so. Oh, Mel is saying, my dad's been giving me the silent treatment. He's mad and he's going through cancer. He's testing me to see. Now he's ignoring me, and you're his caregiver. So this is abuse. You are in service to your dad, and he is being abusive. If he's sick and on medicines, the medicines might be causing him to behave in ways like this. So I would not take it personal, Mel, because when people are on medications, especially cancer treatments, they are not in their right mind at all. And also, think about cancer not just as cancer, as an illness, but it's also how the cells are communicating. Literally, the cells are distorted and they reproduce, and that's what cancer is, right? So if cellular communication is already strained and stressed, it will just magnify with an illness. So Mel, I would say my heart goes out to you. Not an easy situation to be a caregiver at all. I've done that. And I would also say, do not take it personally. And to the best of your ability, Mel, I would be in your heart with your father, okay? Every opportunity, just meet him with compassion and love from your heart. So you can even put your hand on your heart, and that will help you, remind you, because you don't want somebody else's behavior to take you out of your place of power. And let me tell you, your place of power is always going to be in your heart. There's a frequency that our heart emits, and it goes out pretty far in the field. And when you are in that space, it will change the dynamic, okay? It absolutely will. And if for nobody else, it's going to change it for you, but I know that it will help your dad as well. You may not see it or you may notice it. So test it out and experience it, Mel. And because they are in such a way, and also it's your dad, and you're also having to contend with mortality, Mel, know that some of your stuff is also going to be processing. So even just taking a few moments to put your hand on your heart and just take a breath in and feel that you're alive and you're here, and this is part of your process. And know that you're doing yourself and your father a service. Don't let his illness distort that for you. You're doing really amazing things. And oftentimes, sorry, somebody's at the door. Oftentimes, when people are in the caregiving, that is a thankless job. And it is exhausting. I'm getting flashbacks to my experience. It's exhausting and challenging. So Make sure that you are taking, mini breaks throughout the day, not to just go get sugar to keep yourself awake and moving, but make sure you're taking time to be present with yourself. You'll be so glad you did. I hope that's helpful for you, Mel. I noticed that this light is actually causing my eyes to have a hard time. That's what it is. I'm going to try this. See if this works. Okay. After Cold Wars with my known people, I prefer giving them a silent treatment. So your Vishal is one of the silent treatment givers. Okay, Vishal, that is a very dysfunctional way to communicate. I hope you take this personally because I don't know if you really understand that what you're doing is basically an ego dysfunction, and it's about power and manipulation. So if you are consciously being hostile to others, you must know that you are going to feel the wrath of that eventually. Anyways, you're saying you get, so now you have, see, this is what I mean. This is how Vishal, this is an excellent example. You're giving people the silent treatment because they give it to you. And you're right, you're not in resonance, but you just brought yourself down to their level. So now you are resonating. And so now you both are feeding off of this low vibration. It's really not healthy. And if you have people in your life and you're just doing mean things back and forth to each other, that's a toxic situation. Why would you do that? I guess the why, I'm answering my own question. The why is abuse. You're accustomed to the abuse and suffering. Nick, David, no, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist. I do energy psychology. So I look at the frequencies and energies and how patterns are running, and I help clients rewire, restack, re-experience life in a more fulfilled way. Durbin is saying, Mel, sorry to hear that. Surely you understand your dad is going through a hard time. Yeah, I mean, compassion. And Durbin is having compassion for you, Mel. So you're not alone. Mel, some days are harder than others. There's no day that's easy. What I found is just being present to the person and not getting stuck. Because I think when people are sick, we get focused in doing things for them and getting them things and making sure there's food. It's all the doing that makes us exhausted. So take some time to just not do it. Just not do it. Unless it's urgent, just don't do it. Just sit and be with your father. Pardeep, welcome. Peter, the goals of a conversation are different. One wants to understand, the other wants attention or take charge of the exchange. I would suggest it's really about power and manipulation. And most people most people who want to have a conversation don't look at conversations like a power play. But people who are, unhealthy in their behaviors will do power plays like this. Like we just saw the other person saying that, they did it to me, so I'm doing it back to them. So now you get in this toxic dynamic, and it feeds an energy called miasma and loosh. And there are entity attachments that feed off of that because they live off of it. They live off that negativity because it brings you down into the lower realms of dimensions. So it brings you into fear, anger, sadness, disbelief, and it gets you in the mind. So the mind again gets activated. Why are they doing this? What did I do? Why are they mad at me? And you go into all these stories. Forget the stories. Once you see somebody being not being respectful, which is what I would say the silent treatment is, it's a lack of respect. That's what I would term it as. And when people are not able to respect each other as humans, the conversation is done. Why even engage? Matt, do you think World War III will happen at some point in the near future? No, I think that we are going to, there's going to be two paths is what I believe, since you asked, Matt. And I think the paths are going to become very divergent. And I think some people will suffer drastically, and other people who are able to have deep connections in their heart and to Creator and to God will have another reality. Mel is saying that her father is an amputee as well, and he's going through lung cancer testing. Double whammy, Mel. You got a lot going on there. Well, we're here to support you. So if you have any questions on how to be in sync as a caretaker, that could be a whole nother topic. But if you have any specific questions, let me know. Sorry, my dog is growling. Okay. Matt is saying, Matt G, you're saying you had Crohn's. Meditation, 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 conscious breath, and also learn how to manage your nervous system. I know I'm not a doctor, and you obviously are in the system, but meditation has had a significant impact for many people with that issue. Okay, Peter, how do we tell someone is one of those folks? My observation is that they work by interruption. It's subtle and sometimes not obvious right away. Well, Peter, I have that horrible habit of interrupting. And I don't give the silent treatment. That's one of the things that I struggle with. But I will say, how do you tell when somebody's giving you the silent treatment? You will get it, or you will observe them doing it to somebody else. If it's a family member, they will have done it to one or many family members. Like they will be incongruent with many people within the family structure for one reason or another. If it's at work, they will be incongruent with many or several people at work at one time or another. So you observe how many people has this person been in an argument, had a disagreement, given the silent treatment, not talking, because people who give the silent treatment will just say, I'm not talking to them right now. And these are people who really do not know how to process their emotions. They're totally disconnected from their emotions, and everything is about self-preservation and ego. So it's not really about identifying those people. It's more about identifying for yourself to accept others as they are, who they show you to be, instead of trying to avoid people like this. Oh, they do silent treatment. Okay, that's how they behave. Okay, that's just information. And how do you accept people who have those types of conversations? Or how do you talk to people like that? You may not ever talk to them. They will not resonate with people who want to have open conversation, open dialogue. They will say things that are irrational. I mean, it just doesn't matter. So you really got to determine not who they are, but how you're going to respond to people who are that way. Like, I literally have sat down at a table with somebody who tried to ignore me right in front of me. And that doesn't work for me. That is not going to work for somebody like me. So you can just imagine how well that conversation went. But I wasn't ignored, and they had to do the exact thing that they didn't want to do. But is that a power struggle? I think it's a lack of resonance, for sure. And I prefer to look at things as we resonate, we don't resonate. This works or this doesn't work. But if I'm going to sit down and we're going to have a conversation, like, you're not going to ice out somebody in the conversation. But people try to do that. That's what the silent treatment is. It's all about power, control, manipulation. I had forgotten about that whole experience until this live. So, yeah, it didn't work very well for either one of us. I mean, I was fine. They were very, very, very upset. Oh, life, life. Sometimes the silent treatment can be assigned that it's time to leave for some. Yes, but I think if somebody needs time, they should say, hey, I'm going to take some time and I'm taking a time out for the next week. I'll get back to you. But that's how healthy people express. Like, I have a need to process. So I'm going to take time. But what happens is most people who are around people who do silent treatments, they think it's okay to just not respond. They think it's okay to not acknowledge people's requests. They start accepting behaviors as coping mechanisms. And I'm going to have to do a whole video on coping mechanisms because there's so many. But the silent treatment really is not a good strategy. If you want to cut them out, then you just move on. Hey, Mel, this is my social time too. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I'm here every day. I am nobody. Aw. He says my nose is a little too tiny and a little bit long. Okay. I don't agree with that, but I can't see you on video, so you can go ahead and comment on things like that. Hi, Jonna. Good. I'm glad to see you here. If you have any questions. Rohan is saying, I'm a stock trader. Can he help me through my psychology and mindset? I'm not a proponent of mindsets. If you haven't noticed in any of my videos, I think mindset is the lack of flexibility and mobility and our ability to be in the flow. So I don't know if that's what you're looking for. I think anybody who's into mindset is going to be rigid, and rigid creates closed systems. Closed systems are not open. I do believe in the natural laws, and the law of attraction is one of them, but there are many. There are so many. There's a law of structure, the law of polarity. I mean, you can go on, and there's lots of laws. Zach, when having your energy fractured and you feel as though it's been healed, what do you think it opens up and causes to refracture the same energy? So I'm wondering, Zach, if you're actually, let me just see. I'm just going to take a moment. I want to be really mindful of this question. So when you're having energy fractured, so you have had something and you healed it, and then it gets fractured again. So that would be trauma, right? So now we have a fracture and a refracture. And I would say, Zach, what I would say for this particular situation is, what are the lessons that need to be learned from this situation? So what was the fracture? What was the situation? Because what happens is when we have, let's just say soul lessons, it will keep coming back until we address the situation and consciously choose to do this process different. So for example, I have a client that has a job that they know the job is not the right fit, but they're staying in the job because they don't want to go look at the job. Now, that's an issue. So they see the writing on the wall, but they're consciously choosing to not make a choice that's different than what they've done in the past. And chances are high that they're going to get another result that's similar to the past that caused a fracture. So they're currently in the midst of the situation. I can't make the choice for them. We've talked about it, but the conscious choice needs to be to do the situations differently. So when you see you don't resonate with a job, you must make a choice to either do the job differently, interact with the job differently, be different in the job, or go somewhere else where you can resonate and be yourself. Both are okay to do, but they require being different. So it's how you are being that needs to change. Now, the lessons, if it's a fracture, it's going to be a soul lesson. If it's happening multiple times, if it's happening more than twice, it's a pattern, okay? So when you have that pattern, what you want to do is heal it. You want to heal it by conscious awareness, okay? How you heal it is you go through the situation and say, okay, get objective, right? And what do I need to learn here? What do I need to learn here? So anybody that has somebody that's giving them the silent treatment, they have a ton of learning to do because they are in an abusive relationship, whether they acknowledge it or not. So the abuse is what you want to heal. So what do you need to learn from being in an abusive relationship? And I have a lot of male clients. I have had a lot of male clients that are in the military, and abuse is rampant with men. So don't, and also by their wives who are very abusive towards them but so anyways, I don't need to go into that. That's just a thing. So you want to look at what would be the learning from this abusive relationship. Do I have 1, 2, 3? Ask yourself, how many learnings do I have? Is this happened to me many times? Is this a parent who's doing this to me? If it's a parent, it's going to be a lot of lessons, okay? If it's a brother or sister, it's going to be a lot of lessons. Those are going to be soul lessons. So you want to get the number and then you want to go find like a scavenger hunt. This is how I do it anyways, like a scavenger hunt. And you go and you find all the lessons and you don't give up until you find all the lessons, all of them. Because if you don't find all the lessons, and then when you look at all the lessons, make choices. Okay, so how am I going to behave different now moving forward with this situation? That changes your whole life. You just changed your whole life with that whole thing. Same with Mel. If Mel takes and tries the new thing with putting her hand on her heart, it's going to change their relationship for the better. For however long her dad is always going to be her dad, alive or transitioned, he will always be her dad, and she will always regret not being in her heart if she's not in her heart. If she goes into her heart, the chances of her having regret go down significantly. She's healing herself and her dad. Because I promise you that dad with the diabetes, with the lung issue, he has regrets. She can heal that for both of them just by being present in her heart. This is how we change our generational traumas. It's that simple. I know it's crazy. Anyways. No, Amar, I'm not hiring. Although I do need a moderator. I do. How many times are you going to ask me about the law of attraction? The law of attraction is one law. There are many laws. Go learn about all of the laws because no law operates in separation. These are universal laws. They're the natural laws of how energy actually works. There is not one law. So you must learn all of the laws. The law of structure. We need to have a blueprint. We need to have an instruction set. Everything in your field has a structure, whether you see it or not. Okay, I get excited about that stuff, sorry. John, hello, I need reassurance this is a safe place for me to be. Well, John, you know, as long as you don't read all the nasty chats, you'll be fine with me. I think it's safe by the most part. How is the silent treatment procedure like? It's like you're contending with people who are in avoidance, denial, power, manipulation, and control. That's what it is. So you would be in a relationship with those people who are actively using those methods to harm other people. Juno, I'm cursing the people who gave me the silent treatment and even go as far as to avoid all eye contact with me. Juno, hate and discontent is equally as toxic as a silent treatment. So I would encourage you to not go into the frequency of hate. Be in the frequency of acceptance. Accept them for who they are, and how they behave, so you can become the man or the person that you want to be. This is the issue, is that the silence treatment, it changes how people are. And it brings them down to a lower frequency, and that gets siphoned. These people are vampires for life force, and they don't even know that the entities are doing this through them. So I'm not saying most of these people are not conscious people. They don't know how they are. They may know what they're doing, but they don't know that there are healthy ways to do it because they're not operating off of the same schema of health and wellness that you might be. Okay. Oh, thank you. Zach, I tend to be the opposite of silent treatment. I find myself talking too much when I could get the point across with fewer words. Yeah, join the club. It's okay, you know. It's okay. We're all here learning and growing, you know. And if you know that, I once worked with this commander that talked all the time. And my advice to him is if you think you're talking too much, shut up. Just stop yourself. Just stop yourself, because oftentimes when we talk, we are also being used in ways that we may not understand. So it's okay to stop mid-sentence. It's okay. I'll be talking. I talked to a girlfriend last night, and I was saying something to her, and I said, "Oh, never mind. I don't want to say it. I'm done. I'm not going to say that." And I just decided not to say what I was going to say. So I just stopped myself. Hey, Life with Live, you're back. Juno. Oh, Juno, you're offering to be the admin, well, the moderator. I don't even know how to assign a moderator. So that's part of the problem I have. So community moderation. I don't even know how to do that. I have to learn. I really have to learn. Zach, you got a girlfriend. She must like to listen to you. Oh, I got the ring on today, yes. My wife is a Muslim and I'm different faith. It's been 2 years since we are married. She constantly tries to convert me. She also says if I get converted to Muslim, I can marry 3 more wives. I would look at what are your values, and it looks like you and your wife have drastically different values, but I would actually write out your values and ask your wife to write out the values, and then have a discussion about your values, and then have a discussion about how it makes you feel to have somebody constantly trying to push you to do something you clearly do not want to do. And that person says they love you, why would they continue to ask you to do something? Juno, when you hate or curse somebody else, it just bounces back onto you. So you want to go from hate to acceptance, love, compassion. You want to build your spiritual house. Hey, being silent in certain certain situations is fine. That's not the silent treatment. The silent treatment will take on a different frequency, and you will know. Yes, John, I told you it was a safe place. Oh, somebody else is saying this. Nazir is saying, ever hear about actions speak louder than words? I have a tendency to only want to have valuable conversations. I have heard actions speak louder than words, and actions and behaviors are the same, true. They do speak, they show you who people are. Okay, Zach, see you later. Thank you for being here. Nazir, I have heard about personality types, and those are just a great way for you to learn more about yourself. They are not who you are, but just tendencies that you may have. So personality profiles are typically used for people to learn more about themselves. Why? Because self-awareness is important. And also, we don't want to stay locked in a box of what these personality profiles say about us. What we want to do is look at that profile and is this who I want to be? Is this profile who I want to be? Is there something here that I need to understand more about myself? And then you do a deep dive. The personality profiles are really good for people who don't know themselves. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Peter. I saw I could assign somebody. Love, you might want to look at how love is expressed and maybe share with her how you guys, there's a link, a free link for expressions of love. What is that? What is that? It's, the languages of love. I think it's the 5 languages of love or 7 languages of love. So you might want to try that, the languages of love, Bishash. And I'm sure I said your name incorrectly, so sorry. But you may want to look up, and Peter, that would be good for you as well. It's just good to see how other people, number one, communicate, and how you prefer to be communicated. Like when I first met my husband, he needed words of affirmation. He doesn't need that anymore. I learned, and I was like, I don't know how to do that. That's not my style. But that's what he needed. And if you want to have a happy relationship, you need to meet people where they're at. So you have to communicate. So you might want to check that out. They have a free quiz on their website. It's good to listen and talk less. I think you learn a lot about a lot of people. I like to talk. I like talking to you guys. Juno, I don't think that he said his wife was unhappy. It sounds like his wife, the religion is a really important value to her. And she probably got married thinking that, I love this person, that's enough. But oftentimes when people are, I want to use the right word, entangled into a religion, the religion professes to live a particular way because they believe in hierarchies and they believe in rules and they believe in things that go against the natural laws of God. But that's what a lot of religions do. And so she may have thought she could live and be with somebody and love somebody that way, but maybe the pressure is getting to be a lot for her. The Life with Live is saying, I feel like listening to you is going to be a daily routine after work. Well, thank you for being here. I like your engagement. And, I'm doing these videos every day for this year. I don't know what will happen next year, but, I'm trying to give actionable behaviors that people can really align to within. Because, if we're not in acceptance of how people show up as, it really changes how we behave. Like these people who have mentioned so vulnerably that they go into hate and discontent, regret and rage towards these people who are doing the same thing. So they create this toxic stream, which, by the way, go watch my video on toxic streams, because those change how your mind functions. Oh my gosh, you guys have no idea what a toxic stream, how that impacts your mind. And you think because they're the ones doing the silent treatment, it's not impacting you. You are 100% wrong. If you are in their vicinity, you're going to get toxic as well. And it will change how you think. Yeah, it's 4 languages, something like that. There's... It's affirmation, giving, gifts, acts, and I don't remember them all. Oh, quality time, because that's what I am. Love is patient, love is kind, love does not envy, does not boast. It is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no records of wrong. I love that. Libby of pure gold, right? Love is a frequency. Mel, it's funny you say that, Juno. My dad always wants me to buy something to make up for ignoring me. See, that's the power of manipulation. Do you feel like some think they know how to communicate? but the communication gets nowhere, if you understand what I'm saying. Go check out the Nonviolent Communication. That's a model. I think I have a video on here. I think I called it the no-fail communication, and I teach in that model the nonviolent communication. There's also a book. There's also an audiobook. Very boring, but if you can get the model and you can practice it, it will fix all communication, even with dysfunctional people. They won't like it, but you'll get what you need out of the conversation. Nazir is saying, the thing is I always felt differently, like I'm always going against the grain, like feeling out. I keep my circle small instead of being influenced by the crowds around me. Too many people, I think it's important to listen to what it is that how you function best. I'm an introvert, but on here you probably think I'm an extrovert because I'm talking to a bunch of strangers. I'm an introvert. I am an observer. I love to people watch. I love to see people, but I don't like going to crowds. You're not going to catch me at a football game, a baseball game. Those are not my things. I did do that when I was younger, but now that I'm much more sensitive, no way, no way. I'm not talking about any politics. I don't know if you noticed that on here. So you can ask me all the questions, but I'm not. I think it's too divisive, and I don't have an interest in being divisive on this channel. I think, everybody's entitled to their opinions, but my opinion is not better than your opinion. You should have your own opinion and operate off of that. Juno says, Bidash is having value difference. Yes. Mel. Okay, thanks for being here. Time to go get snacks. All right, take care. Good luck to you. All right, so we got the silent treatment done and over on the stream. And you guys weren't silent here. I would like to say in my final comments about the silent treatment is that if you respond to that behavior in anything other than a loving, open heart way, you are falling into a trap of the power and the manipulation. Just because somebody is giving you the silent treatment, accept them for who they are, and then determine if you want to continue to engage in the relationship with them. And if you do, you should know that you are going to be exposed to toxic streams of behavior. And it will change how you think about what is happening. So their perceptions will get infused into your mind. So you have to really understand how toxic streams work to understand what I'm saying. But well, you don't fight without fighting. You just don't. When you accept somebody, there's nothing to fight about. All right, y'all. I appreciate you being here. Another day in the books. I think this is video 252. I am Kiannaa Sadge, and I guide people to peace. When you accept somebody who is giving you the silent treatment, it will change how you respond. So fully accept them for who they are and how they behave, and then go into conscious choice about how you want to move forward. I hope you have a great day. I'm Kiannaa Sadge. Take care. Bye.